Wave 31 Storm Tracker meteorologist Grace Anello with 31 Triple Doppler.
You know, we know the folks in Florida getting ready for the, and of course South Carolina, Georgia too, getting ready for the arrival of Hurricane Debby. It's just so nice to know that we don't have to worry about anything like that. And even all that rain that they're going to get, we're past for a little bit.
Absolutely. And I'm also taking great heart. And remember, the last hurricane we tracked was a history-making Cat 5.
Yes.
This is a Cat 1, still very strong, but I'll take a 1 over a 5 any day of the week. We're going to get to more on that here in just a second, but let's settle in right at home. In the Rocket City, those flags are really not even blowing this morning, just the slightest hint of a breeze. Our temperatures sitting in the mid-70s, our dew point humidity levels in the low 70s. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still the dog days of summer and you're going to be feeling that way, but we're nowhere near as humid as we were last week, and that is cause for rejoice. 74 in Muscle Shoals this morning, a very similar story. Dew points right near that 70 mark, winds essentially calm, so not too much variability across the northern part of the state. If you're headed off to school this morning, whether it's your first day of school or your first day of your second week of school, by the time you get in the door, temperatures will be sitting in the upper 70s. We'll have the slightest hint of a breeze this afternoon, but we're keeping that sunshine with us all day long. 5:17 on your Monday morning, and of course it's no surprise, completely dry from rain, but also completely cloud free, and we'll see very little variability in that, not just today, but throughout the week this week. Now, standard for us this time of year is to see about 5 to 10 mile-an-hour winds with about 15 mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that's essentially right where we'll be all throughout the day. We could see 1 or 2 stronger wind gusts around dinner time this evening, but other than that, it's business as usual. What's really nice, though, about today's little bit of a breeze is it's coming from the northeast. That means it's ushering in cooler, fresher and refreshing air rather than that muggy air from the south. So that's really going to help us out. We'll be sitting at 96 degrees today. Once you factor in that humidity, we'll be making it to the low 100s, but we are not going to be hot enough to need a heat advisory. And that's good news. I still want you to take this heat seriously, and I still wouldn't spend the middle part or the heat of the day outside, but at least we're making a little bit of headway. We're sitting in the oppressive humidity category today, whereas last week we were planted firmly in the unbelievable category. By Tuesday and Wednesday, those levels just continue to drop ever so slightly. So still summer, but feeling a lot better. By tomorrow, conditions are much the same, sitting in the upper 70s when you get to school and work, mid 90s for your high temperature, feeling again in the very, very low 100s and a slight breeze out of the north. Very little change from today and into tomorrow. All right, on to Hurricane Debby. A Category 1 making landfall just east of Tallahassee as a Cat 1, but it will lose its strength, turning into a post-tropical cyclone, tropical storm, as it heads towards Valdosta, Georgia. At the moment, spinning at 80 miles an hour, but only moving as a system as a whole at 10 miles an hour. So it's kind of taken its time. It's not making landfall yet, but it will at some point this morning, and we'll let you know the second that does happen. After it goes to Valdosta, it makes its way towards Savannah, Georgia, cutting across Georgia and then up the coast to Charleston and then tracking into the Virginias. We'll see 1 or 2 pockets of cloud cover with this system, but not much more than that. We're really not even going to notice that there's a hurricane happening to our south. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking sunny and warm. And then by the time we get to Friday, we're cloudy, but we're sitting in the low 90s next week rather than the mid 90s. So at least there's that.
Well, Grace,
We'll
you
take
know,
that.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from South Alabama
Yes.
and that area, so we are well acquainted with how bad it can get for the general areas
Yes.
outside of that.
And even, you know, Mobile, Daphne, Fairhope, even into Dauphin Island, it's staying east of all of them. So that's great news.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
thank
to hear.
you.
Thank you, Grace.